Hello and welcome to the final 9 of the 2024 PDGA Champions Cup presented by Bushnell. We are at Northwood's Park for 9 more holes to crown the Champions champion. I'm Erika Stinchcomb.
I'm Madison Walker. We're your two hotkeys.
Honk.
I can't wait to crown the third Champions champion, right? This is the third Champions Cup, I believe.
Is it?
Yep.
Oh,
but
yeah.
First at this new venue, RIP to Jackson, and hopefully we'll be back there in the future. But we love Northwood's Brews. It's played rough this weekend. The lead card struggling a bit on the front nine, a lot more red than we're used to seeing from our lead card. We've seen some really hot scores the past 3 rounds, but there is room on the back nine to improve besides hole 12 and 14, 2 of the hardest holes on the course.
Eveliina maintaining a 3-stroke lead over Silva Saarinen, who has shot a 2 down to jump into solo second. The rest of our lead card here in a tie for third, 4 strokes back of Eveliina. Hole 10 is a par 4, 527 feet. We've seen most ladies get aggressive taking the left side gap, trying to push down into this corner and even wrap around the corner, leaving kind of a narrow little tunnel shot. If you get down past the corner, it's maybe only 200 feet. There's also a hyzer gap to land more on top of the hill and then have to shoot all the way down the hill, which can be really tricky. This was, I believe, a left to right-ish wind off the tee.
Who cares about the wind? Listen to those frogs.
Oh, they were popping out there. It was unreal.
Really nice vernal pond behind the tee pad.
Absolute symphony of frogs. Rachel threw a shot. It's on the left.
Eveliina puring the gap, getting some good hyzer, but getting caught up on one of those middle of the fairway guardian trees. She bounces down in a really nice spot in the center.
Owen showing us that hyzer route. I like this play. It feels a little safer, though it's harder to get all the way down there. Owen does it, though. She's going to be a little bit on that left. Just kidding. It's perfect.
Mm-hmm. We saw Kristin error left yesterday and recover really well.
Yeah, similar. She's just having a lot of early releases today. I thought it was mostly forehand, but it's been quite a few backhands at this point, too. Those frogs, though.
Oh, my God.
It was wild. Early again.
She did this play yesterday on purpose, I believe, and it worked out really well. This one was a titch early.
Exactly 1 titch.
Eveliina can see the basket from where she landed, and look at this straight, perfect shot.
Gorgeous. That's the second one of those putter shots we've seen her throw that is just on a rope. Perfect height, perfect speed. Perfect lady.
Mm-hmm. Owen trying to work a hyzer up the right side. Those little spindly trees on the right grab everything.
Oh, sweet. I don't want to call it a pitch out. I really thought she nailed the shot, but does catch edge and roll into the right side.
But it was a smart play, just trying to get out, advance a little bit, but not be too aggressive. Kristin doesn't know how to do that, though. She's so good at these aggressive second shots from the rough.
What an out. To have a putt from back there is pretty insane. Rachel not left with much here, just having to pitch out. Looking at, 100 feet maybe for a par. Owen's third. Still no birdies on the scorecard from Owen. After about 9 holes not having a single birdie, it's always like, okay.
All right.
All right.
I give. Rachel going to have to settle for a single bogey here. And out of all the holes to bogey, hole 10 isn't fine. There was only 2 birdies on the day.
Oh, that was almost such a clutch par save.
Only 2 people got to circle 1 in regulation, only 3 to circle 2. This is just a really difficult hole. I still like it, though.
Yeah, that's kind of the story of Northwoods, I think. Owen in for par. Rachel for bogey. Eveliina to move back to even par on the... Wait, let me math it. I'm not sure.
We're going to find out in a second when they tell us on the screen.
Yeah, that's what we like.
But first, a chase card check-in with the Springtime Flower, Silva Saarinen.
It's +1. I figured it out. She's +1.
Silva catches the last Guardian Tree. Let's watch Henna Bloomroos attack as well.
Looks like Henna's having a fairly clean round here in solo 6 right now. And what a beautiful little turnover putter shot.
Silva caught up just outside the circle with an obstructed putt.
In a bit of a puddle, too. Ugh. Wow. I love her putt.
Me too. She's so good.
And the spring outfit also. Great birdie from Henna as well.
2 really clean looking scorecards.
Yeah, chase card definitely trying to make some moves here.
And making moves they are. They have moved themselves into podium positioning right now from the chase card as Rachel and Kristin kind of slide down the leaderboard. Hole 11 is a very gettable 260 feet. You can throw a backhand straight shot that finishes right. You can throw a little bit more of a turnover. You can throw a flex. You can throw a forehand, whatever you feel comfortable with, depending largely on what the wind's doing or what you're feeling that day. This is a fun, nice kind of a break of a hole in the middle of the round right before you enter one of the hardest par 5s or hardest holes on the course in general.
This one, if you don't have a putt, you're kind of like, well, what am I doing?
Yeah. Imposter syndrome.
This is a horrible feeling right now.
Mm-hmm. I don't think Eveliina's having imposter syndrome, though.
Probably not. Probably not. What am I even doing here? I don't belong here. I'm Finnish. Why am I in Illinois? She actually told me that those were her thoughts.
Owen also not going to have a putt. Looks like there is a lot more wind to contend with today, and everyone having a similar issue getting tangled up early on that right-hand side with their turnover shots.
This was a tricky win, too. Like, look at Kristin, not really sure exactly which way it's coming from. Kind of I don't know. It was a weird one.
The
swirly.
Course, yeah, the course is situated up on a hill compared to the surrounding property. So the wind swirls all the time. Even if it is consistently from one direction, you never quite know what you're going to get.
Those flags are looking right to left, at least on the green.
Mm-hmm. But did you see that leaf change direction?
Yeah, just do a full spin. Just a circle. Wow, now it's a headwind.
Yep.
Look at that. That was a great little nose up Anheuser look from Rachel. Owen, really long look here. She's just going to lay it up. It's kind of weird not to see Owen recklessly go for putts.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's smart, but it is a little bit less fun. Oh, Rachel just clunked it in there for a par. But in is in.
Eveliina in yet another puddle.
Northwood's just trying to get her really muddy. Eveliina right side has some work to do for the bogey.
Half the field birdieing this hole. There were 10 birdies on the day. There's also an ace from Eveliina.
Oh, yeah. It was filmed.
Sweet.
Sidearm, I believe. Looked clean the whole way.
That's awesome. Kristin with the only birdie on the lead card, gaining strokes on folks.
Kristin gonna tie it up with Owen on that one. And Rachel with the friendly nubs. No one on the lead card, under par for the round. Silva and Henna, 3 down and 2 down respectively.
Look at Missy Gannon and Eveliina moving up the leaderboard at 5 and 6 down.
Hole 12, a very difficult par 5 at 725 feet. You have to go over the creek there. That's casual. Try to land in an ideal landing zone, which is maybe slightly on the left side. You want to then decide how aggressive you're going to be getting into this tunnel on your second shot. A lot of women lay up just to the mouth of the tunnel and then have about a 275-foot approach shot. dead straight into a headwind typically. Look at that tunnel, so intimidating. If you get aggressive on the second shot, it can make the third easier, but if you end up either side of those woods on that tunnel, it is brutal.
It's wild how windy it was on the green of the last hole, but it just looks like there's no wind here. And it's only, what, a good 200-foot walk?
Yeah, you could almost feel it. As you get up into the tunnel, you really start to feel it. There's a couple leaves moving down here. Kristin kind of playing that left side. She's done that every day. It seems like she's prioritizing distance, and it's been working. Own with a more traditional kind of conservative layup.
Oh, yeah, there's some wind
happening.
Working through. Rachel working the right side, but not going to get the fade she wants. She's going to be pretty deep on the right side, and that can be challenging.
It got a good enough kick, I think, where she has some stuff to work with. Definitely still challenging, though. Looks like a putter from Eveliina.
A little bit of a slip, but it's fine. Dead center. A little shorter, but Eveliina's got the distance so she can make up for it here.
Rachel going backhand here. And dealing with that right side, which we have seen all weekend.
Thankfully, it's pretty shallow on the right side.
Mm-hmm.
See a lot of people going all the way into the bushes over there, and that is rough.
Eveliina looking to go huge here. It's early and gets a kick deeper into that right side than we saw Rachel just land. I think that's a pig in Own's hand, and she's just going kind of a gentle layup.
Yeah, really smart play. She's wide open on the tunnel, and she trusts herself to work through that narrow gauntlet of a second or third shot.
Yeah, she knows exactly how much to flex the disc to get it all the way down there.
Kristin pushing just a little further into the mouth of the tunnel than everyone else on the card.
Yeah, well done. Eveliina, come on, keep turning. Wow. Sweet shot. Yeah, a lot of risk involved here on this shot.
Own positioned perfectly on the left side of the fairway to do this flexing shot.
So good. Own pretty much parked for her first birdie of the round.
She would have her first birdie on hole 12.
On one of the more difficult holes.
Today it played as the 5th most difficult hole of the day.
Rachel's third. Lands just a bit short, but nice and straight. She's got a long look for birdie.
Kristin with a pure shot to the green. Dead straight. Forehand.
Yeah, it's been interesting to watch Kristin's play, just kind of, piping it, but being left side. She's played it pretty well all weekend. Eveliina giving this a run. You can see how windy it is on the green, especially when they switch the camera angles here. Just kind of ripping off the road. It's going to be a right to left. Maybe slight headwind for Kristin here. Short putt, though, for birdie. And 2 in a row feels good. Kristin now only 3 strokes back of Eveliina.
Own with just a drop-in birdie. One of only 3 on the day today.
Nice.
Missy Gannon got the other.
Own tied with Kristin, also 3 strokes back. Silva 1 ahead of them, 3 down through 12. She is 2 back of Eveliina. Pretty tight.
Yeah. especially with 14 looming.
Oh, yeah, looming.
Hole 13, it's 502 feet. Your first shot needs to go a full 300 or 320 feet past this little fir tree on the right side into this area if you're wanting to attack for birdie. You can play a little pitch up to the short side, and it's an easy approach to this basket, but don't come in too hot, because if you go past or come in too hot, you can get big skips on this hard pan surface and have a tester comeback putt for par.
Checking back in with the chase card. Henna going just to the right of that cute little fir tree.
She will be lined up really nicely to the gap, wide open.
She's calling for it to sit. Coming in too hot, as Madison said, leaves a tester putt. Henna straddled around that tree here. Nice. Puts a little bit of hyzer on it. That's a great birdie.
Kristin a little low here. Doesn't even have a chance to get to the landing zone. This is looking like she's going to have to make it into a par at best.
Owen with this pretty stable red destroyer squeaks left side of the tree and ends up on this berm just a little bit. Can limit your run up, but she should be lined up to potentially go for it if she chooses.
Rachel with a bit of a slip, just the teeniest bit of a late release, and she's going to get tangled up early. Also, not going to be able to go for birdie.
Eveliina with a bit too much height. Squeaks through the fir tree.
That never happens.
No, it does. Pretty dense. Pretty dense little guy. You're right. It's not cute.
Kind of surprised she didn't go to the left side of the tree. You don't have to be super aggressive on this layup.
It could have been one of those like, just got to pitch up, and maybe just a bit undercommitted.
Owen definitely going for it. We watched her throw right at the trees yesterday. Today she corrects a little bit, comes in earlier, and she is on the short side of the green. Perfect spot.
Yeah, that's great. The only challenge there is it can be a little bit slippery on that hill. Wow, Eveliina, the right height, but gonna slide outside of the circle and have an uphill, pretty risky putt. Oh, this is scary. Oh.
I love that she just went for that, but she gets pretty lucky, gets through everything to be safe. She doesn't have a putt, but she'll be able to pitch right up pretty easily.
Kristin with a no-nonsense pitch up for her par. Okay,
I thought it was easier than that. That's hard.
Yeah, it is hard. Oh, sit. Okay, so this, I was curious if this was ever going to come into play. You can see that the pond has widened past the OB, so that's just casual water, but Rachel either has to go in it or go from all the way behind it. So I assume she's... Here we go. Casual.
Yep, time to get the feet wet.
Oh, I want her to make this so bad. What a weird,
man.
What a strange.
The marker might float away, but my foot's behind it at the minute.
Just fully ankle deep.
This is so bizarre.
Yeah. Yes.
She must practice those, because that
That's
looked very comfortable.
Amazing. I almost mentioned that was something that was happening, and then I thought, nah, it probably won't come into play.
Someone get a mic on her shoes. We want to hear this squelch.
Oh, it's going to be so loud.
Nice birdie from Owen.
And back to back after not getting really any birdies for the first 11 holes.
There were 7 birdies today, with 9 people getting to circle 1 in regulation.
To be fair, most of these ladies' shoes are already pretty soaked. The grass is really wet. There's puddles everywhere. But yeah, if we could get a shoe mic, that would be ideal.
One last view of Rachel with dry feet.
Yeah, it's quite a few to play with wet feet. Own only 2 strokes back of Eveliina. She tied with Silva at this point? Wow. Okay.
It's exciting.
We got a game.
And going into this hole?
Hardest hole all weekend. Par 5, 731 feet. You want to lay up to the corner or get aggressive and wrap the corner a little bit. Then just the longest hallway you will ever see with a ripping right to left wind coming off the farms on the right. There is OB on the right side as well. Left side is not out of bounds. It's just dense. There are a million trees in the way. Really hard to access the green. You see all sorts of shots going down those tunnels. You never know exactly what you're going to look like. You are never going to play this hole the same way twice. That was probably a good checkup for Henna there. Check in with the chase card. I think that was going a little too deep.
Silva giving it some height, really hoping to wrap this corner. She also comes in deep, but gets a really nice tree reaction.
And Henna, again, this is like a gap you would never practice. This hole is always interesting.
Silva going to bite off a lot of distance here. Another favorable tree kick.
Henna's third. Probably just looking to get maybe 2/3 of the way down there. Oh no, she's going really aggressive. It is workable over there. The gaps are very small. Silva left with a nice line.
And this is, again, her perfect type of shot shape.
Just tough with that right to left wind.
Yeah, every angle you put your disc on is going to be highlighted. You can see Henna's disc getting just pushed down by that right to left wind.
Henna with a lot of spin on it, though, and gets close. Par feels so good on this one. Birdie feels like eagle.
And that's a tester putt with this win. Nice job to Henna. Silva also going to tap in for her par, and those feel like birdies.
That's why we're showing them, because it is a really difficult par.
Erika said this feels like the hardest hole, but it also statistically is the hardest hole.
I said it played as the hardest all weekend. I did both.
Oh.
It feels, it is.
It is.
And it feels. Oh, just barely making it past the corner. Yeah, the hardest every day by a good bit, right? I mean, at least half a stroke over par, I think, most days, if not more.
Yeah, in round 2, it was 1.5 strokes over par.
Oh, my.
That's probably going to be the hardest hole all year.
Yeah. Kristin catches left side, but gets a kick to the right at least. Eveliina pushes deep and gets a nice little tree kick. I guess that's the play, just backboard deep. This was mostly a headwind off the tee. It was kind of coming in like left to rightish. It felt more like a headwind down the tunnel than previous days. It was still right to left, but like right to left head. There it is. Nothing like,
Oh, Kristin aggressive, but trusting the disc.
nothing like that. One of the hardest holes on tour and the windiest hole by far on the entire property.
This is the first day it has sound, though, because there haven't been leaves.
Oh,
Now we can hear the wind extra loud today.
good point.
Is this the windiest day?
No,
Man,
no, there's just leaves.
okay.
This
It just
is-
looks worse.
Yeah, it was worse the last 2 days. Don't get me wrong, it's bad right now, but it was worse the last 2 days. Rachel with a really great shot there.
I tried to take a video of it in round 2 for my weekend recap, and I couldn't get the video to show how bad it was. You can tell right now.
Yeah, you can.
Eveliina.
Eveliina, wow.
That's a great shot. Getting a little tree love as well, but landing in a really nice spot to approach the green.
You got me doing it, wowing Evelina's every good shot. They deserve wows, though.
They do.
Kristin's third.
Not quite able to get it to plane up. She's going to trickle into the OB left. It's so brutal over there.
I'm going to try to work the flex sidearm. Actually, kind of more of a hyzer. Interesting. Really good.
It's such a weird feeling lining up and having your disc wobble like that.
Yeah.
Especially on
just
the
trying to
putting green, you're like,
Uh-huh.
oh my gosh.
Whoa. I liked that.
Yeah, but unfortunately, Rachel going to join Kristin in that rough.
Hopefully on the edge, though. Crazy that Eveliina is this far after 2 throws. The wind continuing to push that forehand towards the left side rough, though.
It's almost comical throwing discs in this type of wind because they're never going to do necessarily what you want them to do.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Here,
Kristin's struggling.
I had a 10-footer straight at the field. One of the most stressful 10-footers I've ever had. So windy.
Nice little pitch up from Kristin. Still a tester, even from that distance where she was.
I'm just going to lay up for par, which is very smart on this one.
63% of the field taking a bogey or worse today. But minimized to all single bogeys except for one. That's great.
Yeah, literally my card was 1 par and 3 bogeys, and we were all like, nice hole, ladies.
Yeah, only one person got to circle 1 in regulation. Only 5 got to circle 2. There were no birdies today.
Lead card, though, making this one look pretty easy. I'm glad we could see how windy it was on this hole. Like, these are some highlight pars, which
Sounds silly, but
sounds silly.
but true.
Especially with Silva and Henna pushing from chase card. Those are some big pars. Eveliina gonna lose a stroke there. Or sorry. Yeah, with the bogey.
And that's going to put her within 2 strokes of second place right now. Ooh, exciting.
Ooh. Ooh.
Even though 14 is one that people take big numbers on, you can take a big number on 15, 16, and 17 as well. It's the last few have this OB that strings all the way down one side. Look at this line. This historically is played as a tough hole for FPO, but everyone's figuring it out. Now it's one of the easier holes, very, very birdieable, especially with how there's no low ceiling, so you can go super aggressive off the tee and on the second shot if you want. This basket is guarded pretty well, but on the short side, you can come in from pretty much any direction.
Let's see what Henna and Silva are doing. That was a great looking shot. I do think it checked up as well.
If that didn't hit the tree, that was going to be one of the farthest tee shots I've ever seen.
I know.
On this hole.
It looked kind of slower speed too. Silva flirting with that tree a little bit, lands in a perfect spot. Henna, you can see all these guardian trees Mad was talking about. I think her footing, yeah, there was a problem there.
Not having a sidearm on the second shot does make the hole more difficult. Silva, though, sneaking through all the trees on the right side. It's the touch.
Mm-hmm.
The touch.
Don't whisper it. Silva in for a birdie. Look at how clean her round has been.
Henna recovering well after that errant second shot.
Silva pulling ahead of her card mate a bit here. Scores are really tight. And yeah, as Madison said, a lot of big numbers can happen on these 3 holes, but 18 is eagleable. So there's a whole lot of strokes out there.
Own on the right side, but that is fine as long as you have a sidearm. She can chip a hyzer to the green from pretty much anywhere on that right side.
It's kind of weird there's so many people down there.
Yeah, they have some statisticians and spotters. Eveliina a little too far right, though. She's going to have a hard time, may even be looking at a pitch out.
Yeah, she's pretty deep. Rachel has been throwing this tee shot really well with that same strider that she's really good at pushing straight. She's just a touch on the right, but really good. And she does have the sidearm if she needs it from there.
Kristin throwing at the out of bounds on the left side, but that was a little earlier than we've seen her in the past few days. It's fine. It's fine.
It is fine.
Works out great.
Yeah, kind of her mistake today. She's been correcting the last several holes, but seems like something's a little off with her release point.
Oh, and trying to work the hyzer up to the green a little early and gets tangled up.
Kristin having to take to the sky a little bit here with the side arm hyzer, and that's really good from where she was. I think she's maybe just outside the circle. Rachel likely trying to swing this out wide like Kristin did as well. Just kidding, it's inside.
And it works.
And it works.
Yeah, there's
either line is viable.
Yep, there's a few good forehand lines from over there. Eveliina looks like she does actually have a look.
Tough look. Eveliina, not too much distance left. Pretty awkward here, though. She's flirting.
Another pond?
Yeah. Eveliina catching some metal, slowing her down. Gonna be parked for a par. You can see how wet that grass is. Just grabbing Owen's disc, leaving it just a touch short. Here is Kristin for a birdie. From a knee, catches that last tree. Oh, it was very much in her way. Owen with a tester.
Good
a tester for everyone besides Owen.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe Silva.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Dead center. Missy
Valerie
Gannon,
Mandahano?
maybe. Yeah, Valerie.
Just a handful. Rachel for a birdie. She hasn't had one in the last 8 holes.
Yes.
There we go. She's played this hole very well all weekend.
We know Kristin probably putting a good deal of pressure on herself, trying to defend this title from last year. This is one that, regardless of what you're doing, defending titles or not, you just want to birdie it.
Yeah, definitely.
There were 9 birdies today.
Check in with Silva, who we saw just got that birdie on the last hole. She's in solo second right now. Hole 16 has a lot of casual water. I believe Silva made it all the way down there looking at a putt, though likely over those logs and perhaps blind. This looks amazing from Henna. Get over it.
Oh.
So close.
So many wind bounces.
Yeah. Silva can't see the basket. You can see she's in a puddle down there. Just going to pitch up.
It's a really awkward putt. The nose angle has to be so weird, and it drops off to the left of the basket, so you can't be too aggressive.
Couple of pars. Still a 2-stroke game here.
No, just
one with
Yeah.
Silva's. Yeah, after
Birdie
that.
on.
Yep.
And 16, even though it's a short one, it's a tough one.
Yeah, so there's even more casual water as well. So that you can see that pond there is not marked. It's just normal casual. The right side creek that we have seen that some people have landed in has now been marked. It was not previously. So if you land there, you go to that same drop zone that you would go to if you landed in the red stakes on the left side. It is a mandatory drop zone with no penalty. The creek is just absolutely raging. Most of the fairway's flooded. It's pretty nuts. Rachel is going to drop short, and she might be in that pond, which is really deep. I wish they would have marked that too. We had someone go in there, and you have to find the disc or it's a lost disc. Owen working the forehand here. Not a bad play. She might be messing with that creek over there. Eveliina really stoked for this wind on her shot.
Really aggressive high line. We love that. That's the only way to get to this green.
Wow.
And she sure did.
Beautiful shot.
Checks up nicely, too.
That was a Glow Champion Rock X3. And that's a big move with just a couple holes left to be in position to birdie.
What a pretty line from Kristin. This forehand is coming in.
Oh, wow.
Sweet.
Grabby grass, man.
The flattest tombstone you ever saw.
Rachel either landed in the pond or landed right there. Regardless, has some clear footing. This is in danger of that casual relief area, meaning she's going to have to go to this drop zone. Owen did land in the creek on the right. Look at that thing just rage.
They added the casual relief paint all the way down. You can see that red line is new today because of how wild this creek got.
Oh, Rachel's actually safe over here. Unable to get a real putt at it. She's looking at a bogey. Eveliina for birdie. Circle's edge.
This is where the nerves kind of kick in.
Yeah.
It's really close.
Yeah, only one stroke. 17, so difficult, especially to birdie. 18, eagleable. Whew. 16 played pretty hard today.
Yeah, there were only 3 birdies. Eveliina makes good on that comeback putt for par. Really important to just not pick up any more bogey strokes right now.
It was weird, even though today was less windy overall, as we saw with Eveliina, you felt it on the tee pad more than the previous days.
Although Eveliina's not necessarily worried about 2 of her competitors on the lead card. Owen is playing really solid, and the chase card is playing really solid. And this next tee shot is so important to keep in bounds.
Mm-hmm.
Real quick, let's watch Silva on this tee.
Oh, rough miss. Silva getting aggressive there, likely going to proceed to the optional drop zone.
Hina with a better kick, but it's still not.
Oh,
okay.
It rolled out.
Bad kick, then good kick.
Silva going backhand from the drop zone here. That was well done. It's definitely an easier forehand, in my opinion, than a backhand from there. Hina's second shot here floats a little hyzer, just outside the bullseye. All right, so Eveliina, once again, a 2-stroke buffer. Silva tied with Owen now. Oh, this is my favorite Be Real I've ever seen. Two to go, 2 strokes separating 3 competitors at the top.
Hole 17. Oh, what a gauntlet at 320 feet, reachable by everyone in the field, but it's a very particular line that you have to hit, whether you choose the backhand turnover, the backhand straight shot, or the forehand flex shot on the right side. It's player's choice here. Just try to get down and into the open and not catch any of the trees to kick into that out of bounds all the way down the left-hand side.
I'm going to take the safer route with the flex sidearm up the right side. It can safer, I said.
Yeah, thankfully that is safe, and she still can scramble a par.
So difficult, though.
Yeah, that right side is brutal.
Eveliina, big decision here.
She's taking the aggressive line.
We saw her she birdied this one yesterday with this Champion J. Wow. Oh, man. It's kind of the shot of the round.
Yeah, that was absolutely clutch.
Super pressure filled.
You know, there was a big sigh of relief there, just landing safe.
She's going to be in that casual creek, though. So not a guaranteed birdie, but just being in bounds, as Madison said, is so important right now.
Kristin really commits to this shot, turns it over, and gets a really nice tree kick, staying safe just barely.
Rachel also going to work the right side flex forehand, 2 flexed, and that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Tough second shot here. I wonder if she's going right. Probably right side hyzer. Right side straight shot, super risky. Bounce off the bridge. Bullseye park job. Called it.
Another sigh of relief.
Oh, man.
And here's the mid-round power-up. Charge your batteries.
Own, weird spot.
But able to go for the green.
Wow. Wow. You can't even see her back there. No. That was sweet.
Kristin with a really nice scenic look at this creek that normally has almost no water in it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
There could be like a salmon run. There's so much water. Eveliina doesn't see her disc at this point.
I mean, if you want to put your feet in there, can I feed us legs?
Thankfully, they have added that casual relief line.
I asked Marsha earlier, because it's marked, even though they don't see her disc and it was probably washed away by that creek, she is able to take casual relief right behind it. It's not a lost disc.
Perks of lead card, they do have a spotter on hand at all times to be able to tell where it last crossed in.
Yeah, and that Marshall. There was a Marshall on 16 all day, too, helping people because it was confusing today.
There were only 2 birdies today on hole 17. Ellie Ezra Midling and Ella Hansen got it. But most importantly, Eveliina walking away with the par here, keeping it in bounds, maintaining her positioning.
Yeah, and 2 strokes going into 18. We did see Eveliina mess up pretty bad on the tee shot yesterday, though she was able to recover well.
Yeah, it's crazy how this hole is eagleable, but can so quickly turn into a bogey as well.
Mm-hmm. Here we go. It's a par 5, but only 632, hence the eagleability. Totally a word. Your first shot, you can go sidearm, you can go backhand. You only really need about 200, maybe 250 feet to get the easy birdie. There is OB that wraps around and gets tighter as you go towards the pin. It's definitely more in play on the right. It does not feel good to par this one. Eveliina probably only... Well, let's see. Let's see what she needs. Hannah up first here.
She's definitely going to be aggressive, going huge here. She wants that eagle.
That's great. She's in position.
Yeah, when you're chasing, the opportunity to shave 2 strokes on one hole is too enticing not to. Silva gets tangled up early on the left side, though, and almost it will be in pitch-out territory.
Yeah, she's definitely out of it for the win. Now just trying to save par. Dang, that's that's so rough.
Look how far Hannah is. Probably only about 300 feet to the basket, but uphill and blind.
Yeah, great shot.
There's a left to right crosswind here, so it's scary to attack both Silva and Hannah.
Oh!
Oh my gosh, catching metal.
A lot of metal. Hannah for eagle. Oh,
that's huge.
Yeah, what a way to finish it up at 7 down, putting some pressure on Eveliina to at least not bogey. Silva saving a par after that errant tee shot.
And regardless, one of the best finishes in a major of her career.
Absolutely. Cool to see Silva last week at Music City and this week playing so well.
And with a new bag.
Yeah.
Cameraman, of course. Love you, man.
Own up first. Opting for the sidearm play. A lot of turn. Catches the left side, but drops to an all right spot, at least for the birdie play. Eveliina knows she has one stroke on Henna. Whoa. She was sending it. I am surprised she didn't try to take a little off and just do the birdie play. It's not a hard birdie.
I think, though, sometimes if you change your game plan that much, it's when you start messing up. And
you're right. Also, she's here. I'm not.
Yeah. I like that she stayed with her game plan that she would do whether or not she was in it for the win. But that's just my opinion. But yeah, she might be in pitch out territory.
Rachel with a pretty clean tee shot, but might be pushing that last little corner deep. In position to birdie. Eveliina with more to work with than she had yesterday. Still in position to birdie, honestly, with a huge third shot. Didn't have to kneel in the mud this time.
I'm nervous.
For Eveliina?
Yeah.
She just needs to par it.
Yep.
She's got it, right? She's got it. Hopefully. Yeah. Hopefully she's got it. Okay, well, now I'm nervous.
Yeah. Kristin working her way up the right side, not quite to where the out of bounds starts yet. It's fine.
Owns second. Ooh, getting way up there. Very nice. Eveliina going sidearm here. She just needs to stay in bounds. Really, that's all she actually needs. Yeah. Yeah. She's good.
Yeah.
She's good. Just a pitch up and she's got it.
Yeah, owns kind of in birdie land as well.
But owns
she's
two strokes back.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's good. We're good.
We're good.
And in.
We love a first major for Eveliina.
Yeah, we do. I think someone might have called it in the intro sequence.
Really nice approach from Kristin for an easy tap and birdie.
Yeah, Kristin's struggling today. Just didn't quite look clean out there, but life is hard. Disc golf's hard. Can't be perfect all the time. Rachel trying to ring it up.
And what a tournament from Rachel Turton. Super impressive and a very demanding course. Looking really mature.
Yeah, I'm excited. She's coming back out for Beaver State Fling in Portland, so we will see her stateside again, as well as in various larger European tournaments. Cool to watch her for 2 rounds out here at this major. Eveliina, so nice that she's just able to pitch up here for her first major victory.
I like the fist pump even on the layup.
Yeah, me too.
It sat down.
I did it. Big smiles from Eveliina here. Rachel for one final birdie. She's going to secure solo 6th place, a great finish. And Rachel's still new to disc golf. We'll definitely see more of her. Kristin Tattar going to end in 5th.
Oh, and in a tie for 2nd with Henna with that birdie.
Yeah, and Henna's eagle to secure that tie for 2nd as well. And your Champions Cup champion, Eveliina Salonen.
PDGA Champions Cup presented by Bushnell winner, Eveliina Salonen.
Eveliina, you have to tell us, what does it feel like to host that Champions Cup?
Feels so good. I'm like big relief. I was so nervous whole round, and like last 4 holes I was shaking and watching all the scores. Silo and Henna putting the pressure on from chase card, and like yeah, it was crazy round. I think at least I'm proving to myself that I can still do it, so that's maybe the biggest thing. Of course my family and friends, and I'm flying back to home today, so can't wait to celebrate with them.
All right, you're taking that major trophy back to Finland. One more time for your champion here in Morton, Eveliina. Congratulations.
Eveliina can still do it.
I like that she's still proving it to herself.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we are big fans of Eveliina here in the booth. I think you guys all know that. But 2 over par was good enough for her to take the cake today. Big congratulations to Eveliina, and hope she enjoys getting back home and visiting with her family and friends and celebrating this huge victory.
Yeah, Henna and Own tying for second, Silva in fourth. The hot round today, Missy Gannon at 6 down, sliding up into a tie for 7th. Some impressive rounds out there, some crazy conditions. Like, what a wild ride we just all had together.
It was a weird weekend.
Some trauma bonding.
Yes, that is for sure. As spring rolls into Illinois, we head westward to Kansas. That is our last major for a little while, but one more Elite Series on this side of the country.
Yeah, before a little break.
A little break and headed to the West Coast. So thanks again to the Founders Club. You guys are the best. Honk, honk, honk to you guys. Congratulations again to Eveliina. We love that for you. And I'm Madison Walker.
I'm Erika Stinchcomb. We're the 2 hot geese. Honk.
Honk.